Good morning, Lit community. Happy new moon, happy new year, happy new intentions. I know we're going a little bit early than what was scheduled before, but I wanted to get in just a little bit of a connection, awareness, insight, reflection for this new moon, because it is such a powerful time. It's the new moon of the new year, and this is more about, that it's more than just this moon. It's really setting the foundation for the whole year, So it's a really powerful one. And on top of that, I feel really connected to it because it's the moon in Capricorn, and my moon sign is in Capricorn. So, Capricorn moons can be very determined. They can be very, persistent. They can be very patient, but they can also be a little moody. So my daughter is actually a moon in Capricorn as well, and her son. So there's a lot of energy of Capricorn going on right now. So we have this beautiful moon in Capricorn, which is allowing us some reflection of what's coming up to the surface right now. And I don't know about anyone else, but I've been doing a lot of shadow work. And if you're not familiar what shadow work is those pieces and parts that we tend to want to push away about ourselves, that we don't want to see, that we don't want to connect to, that don't feel so good. A lot of it comes around feelings of shame, feelings of low worth and value, feelings of not enoughness. And that really comes to the surface right now. And it's supposed to, because it's coming to the surface in order to heal. We are moving into a new paradigm. We are moving into this age of Aquarius. We've started in this new era. That is of lighter and brighter, but we're still having these lower vibrational energies that we are continuing to clear up so that we can be of our highest and best potential, so that we can stand in our truth, so that we can know our value and worth. So this is such a beautiful moon to be able to reflect during that time, to plant new seeds of intention. So when I'm doing a lot of shadow work, when there are things that are coming up that are around the fears, the worries, the doubts, the insecurities, it will also play out in my dreams. It will also play out in these pieces and parts where I'm continuing to process it either consciously or unconsciously. And I've been having some really intense dreams the last couple of nights too. Feelings of trying to step into my power. One of the things of stepping into my power that really does still make me terrified at times is being live. So look at me go, stepping into my power. It's continuing to notice what's coming up with those shadow parts, allowing those to have a space to be witnessed or to be noticed. Just notice. Notice where you feel the feelings in the body. Notice it's the triggers. It's the things that irritate us, that frustrate us, that make us angry, that scare us. Those are the triggers. Those are the shadow parts. And if we can have a space to notice them, to observe them, to where those feelings are coming from, then we can begin to shift them. They can begin to shift and to move. And that's alchemy work. That's the divine alchemist. And I have a whole class that works on that art to teach that, to empower yourself to be your own self-healer. So we're really connecting into what is still kind of hanging in the residue, what is still not resolved yet, what is still wanting to come to the surface in order to heal. And this is a personal level and a collective level, because what's going on inside of us is also a reflection of how we paint our reality. It's our relationships. It's how we view the environment around us. So we start within. We start with. So one of the easiest things I want to give you, we've got some really great energy with this new moon and this new cycle. We're moving into an air sign, an air cycle. We have this 40-year shift of this energy. We've had like a 20-year cycle, a 40-year cycle, a 200-year cycle. This really has been a time where we are moving into brand new cycles, creating brand new foundations of new ways of being. And one of the fun energies is one that was back in the 80s. And I'm an 80s lady. If there's anybody else out there that's 80s ladies, loves that 80s empowerment, feminine rock. Yeah, give a little shout. But it's fun, right? It's empowering and it's fun. And there were the colors, and it was all about self-expression. Think of the 80s ladies like, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, Janet Jackson, Tina Turner, Whitney Houston, Pat Benatar, Belinda Carlisle, baby, heaven on earth. So it's fun. And we're bringing back that airiness, that lightness, that cosmic vibe, that higher energy. And so it's really moving into this empowerment place, into this lighter, brighter, airy connection that we can begin to see ourselves in a different way, connect into ourselves in a different way. But it's also recognizing that we are energetic beings. We are spiritual beings. And that spiritual is within. That spiritual can be in our community. And right now it's really important to create those communities around you, to have those people around you that truly support what you feel inside. I was in the spiritual closet for a long time, where it, connecting in with, my oracle cards or divination tools, or that was something I kind of did privately, but I didn't, bring that into public. There is a witch wound around that, right? A persecution wound of that not being safe. And it took a while for me to start incorporating that into my practice and with my clients, to be who I am on the inside, on the outside. So this is an opportunity for you to find those sacred communities where you can explore those parts and pieces of you in a safe way, and in a like-minded community that helps connect in with other beings of light, with, a greater cause, because we are here to raise the vibration. We are here to use our light embodied. And that's the reason why I teach these embodied practices, is that because it raises our vibrational frequency. And when we can do that, when we can tap into our vibrational frequency, it creates the ripple. It's a trickle down effect. It gives you more energy. It brings more sleep. It calms and soothes the nervous system. It connects you into your higher awareness, your higher way of being, and your insight, your divine intuition, and your divine creativity. Those are things you're born with. But we can get weighed down. We can get bogged down. We can get that heaviness of what's going on around us in this world. And in order to be our best self, we have to call in, we have to call back in all parts of ourself, of where we give our time, our energy, and our attention. Because every time we do that, every time we scroll on social media, every time we connect on TV with the news, every time we have a conversation with somebody, every time we go and we witness or see or hear or feel something, as empathic beings, as when we feel all the feels, we connect. If we don't intentionally cut those cords, we are continuing to kind of drain through that energy, and it can be exhausting. So I want to share one easy practice that I love, that centers me, that connects me, that Rebecca Campbell teaches, which is calling all parts back to self. And it's really great after you've woken up in the morning and you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel like, where was I? It can be when you have connected with someone that may, have heavier energy, or witness something, or saw something on TV or social media, which we all have going on right now, of a heavier energy. And it might ignite something in you of passion, or wanting to do something to step up, or to change the world, or to, be that action step that is being called. Maybe it's being to stand in your truth, or to stand in your power. But we have to have all of ourself connected. All of ourself connected. So one way that I love to start the embodiment practices that I teach is calling back all parts of self. And it will just center you and ground you. So find a comfortable way to sit. Bring your arms out to the side with intention, because intention is the key. With intention, I call all parts of myself back from wherever I've given my time, my energy, my attention, from wherever I've been, wherever my energy has been and went. I call it all back to self. And just gather it back with your hands, with intention of calling all parts of you back to self, back to center, and back to your breath. And as you let your hands rest on top of your heart center, I want you just to notice, to feel your breath under your hands. Feel that rise and fall. Feel yourself back into the body, into the present moment, and into your breath. Your breath is your light tool. Your breath is what can bring that conscious awareness back. And as we do that, as we're in this present moment space, we can also create intention, planting these seeds of intention of what we want to create space for. As these old belief systems are coming to the surface, as these old feelings, these shadow parts are coming to the surface to be noticed, to be felt, to be heard, to be seen, we can then figure out what we need in order to integrate them, in order to release them and let them go. And when we do that, when we shed the parts, the beliefs, the thoughts, where we're putting our priorities, our values that no longer align, because this really has been a past year of reevaluation of what our priorities are, where our values are. When those parts continue to come up to surface and they don't align with where you want to be and how you want to feel, you now have choices to decide if it still serves a purpose, if it needs to be integrated, if it needs to be shed and let go, you get to decide what happens to this. So as you do that, that creates space for more of what you want to create, more of what you want to bring into this world. And this new era is about perception, about a new relationship with yourself, with others, with this planet, through a heart lens. Through a heart lens, through a quantum mind, with a temple body and a spiritual embodiment. So we're making space for a lot of things. But if you can find one intention, it's a beautiful time to plant that seed of intention. And it could just be a nourishing practice. It could just be nourishment, a practice of being and not doing. We are a do, outcome, expectation, conditioned way of being. And we're being asked to switch that up, right? We don't have control. No, we didn't. And we never had that illusion. But where we're planning now, where we're figuring everything out, that we are in this place of the unknown, where we are being asked to trust the unknown and see where this goes. Just see where this goes. And with that takes trust. It takes trust. And this is a very feminine energy. We have the masculine and the feminine, and the masculine is our right side, and it wants to take action, and it wants to move forward, and it wants to plan, and it wants to do, and it wants outcome, and it wants expectation. And our feminine is our feeling into it, into the present moment, using that intuition to guide, connecting into that space that goes with the flow, that's fluid, that's not force, that's fluid. And that can be so hard. That can be so hard. And that's why it's a practice. This is winter season for those of you in the Midwest, along with me. And this is our natural time to rest. This is our natural time. I'm finding myself wanting to hibernate a little bit. I'm wanting to just rest more, go inward more, nourish more. And if I try to do and try to plan, I get barriers. So really just listening into that place of what do you need? What do you need? Because these nurturing waters, when we give ourselves permission, and create the intention to nourish ourselves, what really fills us up, what really fills up our cup. As I teach these healing arts embodiment practices, we're focusing on what fills up our cup, what fills up our well-being, our energy, so that we aren't depleted, so that we have the highest potential to give into what we want to do, into our relationships, and to how we want to connect. And when we are feeling drained, depleted, when our well is just dry, we don't have it to give. So feel into what you're wanting to create, what's coming to the surface in that shadow form that is asking for your attention, to be seen, to be heard, to be witnessed, so it can stop screaming at you. And then what nourishing practice. And when I say nourishing, it's going to bring feelings of comfort, of soothing, of pleasure, of pleasantness, because those are the feelings we want to be in. Those are the feelings we want to feel. So if we have a nourishing practice that does that, we are going to want to do more of that and have balance. And we have to have those nurturing waters, those nurturing practices that take care of ourselves, because that is a place of value. That is a place of honoring ourselves as sacred, as deserving, as worth to invest in. And that is what's going to sustain us. That is our sustainable life. We have to have a nurturing balance, this feminine essence energy of being held and supported and loved and nourished in order to hold these sacred fires, this masculine energy of action, of moving things out into the physical matter, into this physical form. So I leave you today as I'm giving myself permission to continue to rest through this season and to honor, as Rebecca says, honor the season you're in. What do you need permission for? As you're calling in and connecting into what you want to create for this year, to feel nourished, to feel supported, to feel empowered. What are you creating space for, and what are you wanting permission? What are you needing to give yourself permission for? I would love for you to comment, to leave your comments, to inspire others. This is our sacred community, and it's important. I'm really being called to create sacred community places where individuals, this connects. I know this community is connecting a lot of women, or those who identify as women. That's not to separate men. We need strong tribes of men, of brothers, just like we do a sisterhood. We need those strong men communities as well, and those allies, that because we have to have that integration of both energies on this planet in order to support one another in our highest forms. So yeah, you're invited to leave your comments, leave what you're wanting to call in, what your intentions are that you're planting seeds for this new moon, and find a ritual that allows you to have that space. It might be connecting in with the energy of the moon, where you go outside and you speak those affirmations of what you're calling in. You can write those down. You can write out anything we make into an expressive form, makes it more concrete. So you can dance, you can sing, you can write, you can draw, but that moves it out into concrete, which is what creates our manifestation. It is speaking our truth and moving out our truth, and setting that intention, which allows our focus and our discernment to move in the direction of what it is we're wanting to bring closer to us, to embody into this physical form, and to create into this physical world. Okay. Once I get rolling, I guess it's easier to talk. I love this stuff. So thank you so much for being a part of this community. You will see me on here on and off throughout this season. But come spring, we are doing some big things. Stay connected to this community. If you are interested in those embodiment practices, those healing art embodiment practices, there is a local group that I am currently teaching to have a sacred space for that. Connect with me if you'd like to know more. It's free for individuals who have been victims of a sexual crime and that are local, and that's anything from sexual harassment to assault to abuse, because that's the wound we are healing. And there's also the Soul Work Signature program that are available in group or individual that are moving out season to season. Yeah. Okay, sacred community, would love to hear what insights came out of this and what your intentions are. I'm holding space for you with that, and with this new moon and everything that this energy is bringing in, with Capricorn, and Pluto's in there too, which is our big Kali energy, our big transformational energy. So this is a very powerful time. Don't miss out on it. Okay. Sacred blessings.